Hi guys, how you doing? Okay, so I have welcome to week 5, and I want to talk a little bit about week 4, and then we'll just jump into week 5, and I'll show you a couple of tutorials, and we'll be on our way. So week 4, we had that artboard layer organization structure. And then we started the everyday hand tool. Sorry that kind of snuck up on you. We switched gears. We went straight from the poster to the hand tool, and that's cool because that's kind of mimics a studio atmosphere where you can be working on a project for 3-4 weeks straight, and then one day all of a sudden, boom, you're off to another project. In the middle of working on a project. So it happens, and I think that it's good that we're mimicking that type of studio setting in the classroom. So to get you prepared and get you used to being able to change hats on a stop of a dime, so to speak. Okay, so good job on the great job on the sketches, by the way, for the everyday hand tool. That really creative stuff, guys. Listen, I want to throw this twist in here. Some of you realize it, and I kind of want to have fun with this thing. I mean, I don't want this to be dry. There's no reason we should illustrate how to use a hair toothbrush as a hairbrush. I mean, let's have some fun with it. Seriously, I mean, go off, man. I'm serious. I mean, as long as you're illustrating, you might as well try to be sarcastic, try to get some comedy. I mean, I'm going to show you how to this tutorial to illustrating this guy running down a plane on fire. So, I mean, it's not meant to be offensive. It's meant to be kind of humorous. So, it's a spoof on those safety things in the pockets of the airplanes, back of the seat of the pocket, back seat pocket, or whatever they're called. So, anyways, week 5. Week 5 is really super important because we're going to talk about paths and anchor points, and this really takes your understanding of Illustrator to the next level in terms of really starting to get sophisticated in multi-layer illustrations, as we're going to find out in this next project. So we talk about paths and anchor points, and that's really super important. And then we talk about blending. Of the two, guys, spend more time in paths and anchor points. It's much, 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 much more important, and it will serve you. It'll serve you your time well spent studying the paths and anchor points. I'm not saying don't study blending. Blending is going to be really easy for you to pick up. It's kind of fun. It's but this is so important. You got to spend a lot of time in here, okay? And then you have your continuation of your everyday hand tool, which you're going to just continue on. Whatever decision you make, you're going to continue with those, refining those sketches. Then you have this sketch and critique, defining styles, your discussion board. But anyways, I want to just talk a little bit about going through this technique that we're looking at for the hand tool. Now, instructional design, I think, is the way to go here, because instructional design mimics reality, and instructional design was something that you see you see it every day, but you rarely see it done well. And that's, let's say you have a small little desk that you need to put together, and it comes with one of those little flimsy sheets of paper with the diagram of how to put it together. And we've all been there, and some of them are good and some of them just suck horribly. And we want ours to be good. That's the approach I'd like to take on this project. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. Now, this is what I was talking about here. This is create your own spoof airplane safety illustrations. And this is this style right here. This style right here. And it goes through how to start with a photograph and just go through and point your paths and create this kind of simplified line drawing of this guy right here. Now, keep in mind, it's not supposed to look like him. It's just supposed to be a guy. This is just a guy that's there for a guide. Okay, so you have this instructional Okay, so think about how this type of illustration can work in with your work, with your instructional, um, here's the final piece right there, with your instructional or your common everyday hand items. Let's take a look at one more because I have another really awesome website here. Here's another one, and I'll put these, I'll make sure that this is how to create text-free assembly instructions in Adobe Illustrator. And I'm going to post these so you guys have access to it. But here's your project right here, basically, guys. Here it is. I mean, this is basically what they're doing here, and it's very simple. I mean, it's done so well you don't even have to. I mean, I can describe it, right? It's the scissors cutting the bottle 4 times, the scissors cutting the other side of the bottle 4 times, the scissors cutting up the side of the bottle four times, then cutting the top off 3 of those, putting them together, nailing them together, tying it down, and putting a broomstick in it, and there's your final project. But not, and this is how it starts, folks. And all of these things are transposed using Illustrator. In other words, this pair of scissors here is actually skewed to look like that. So in other words, you just draw that and then you put a command on it and it makes it look like that. Okay, and the same with the hammer. So you're not actually drawing the hammer at that angle, okay? And it goes through everything here. Okay, so be sure to take a look at those. And if you have any questions, get with me on those. But that's really the visual posture I'd like to take on this project. And again, I'd like to have fun with it. So try to be sarcastic. Try to really have some fun with it. Try to get a chuckle out of your viewer. Okay. If you have something else planned, that's awesome too. If you have something more serious in mind, that's great. That's awesome. Go for it. But I'm here. Any questions, comments, or anything, holler at me, and I'll be glad to clarify anything. Okay. Thanks, guys. See you in class.